scoring enough goals at the minute. So as soon as a team gets a goal, we kind of struggling a little bit. But it's down to me and my staff to try and put that right.
Because you look quite resilient until that set piece just before the break.
Yeah, and look, like Cardiff play good expansive football, but I felt we frustrated them quite a while. I don't think they created much first half, and then second half we were just too open, and I think we showed his inexperience a little bit, and that's something we've got to get better at.
Yeah, how difficult is it when they're sort of on a roll like that?
Well, it's not bad when they can bring subs on that they can bring on, and we're missing key players. So look, they're a decent football team. They play some decent stuff. I didn't think our keeper had a lot of saves to make despite losing 3-0. I felt they kept ball really well in middle third, but so what? That don't win games of football. What wins the games of football is a cutting edge. We didn't create any near enough anyway chances, so I'm not sat here saying we deserved anything today. I didn't think we did, but I felt that they weren't hurting us, and we should be better, and the goals we've conceded are really poor.
I suppose the worry for you and your striker injury problems are well documented, but one shot on target which came in the last 10 minutes when the game was, I won't say over, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I thought we got in some real dangerous areas first half with the game plan with Gorey and now Johnny Martha, and again just showed us probably a little bit of experience. That's not down to them. Listen, we're a work in progress. I've said all summer we're a work in progress. However, the level of performance has to be much better than certainly in that second half.
Does this sort of help educate some of the players? Because this can happen in any division, but certainly in League One, in a place like this.
Yeah, look, I've said all along, look, Cardiff have just come out at Championship. They've still got Championship players in certain areas. We've been in League One at quite a while now, longer than probably myself and the fans would have wanted. So we're in a bit of transition. I think we've got a culmination of different managers' players, which again, look, I'm not daft. I know as a new manager, you either get a job because somebody's not been doing a great job, or somebody's moved on because they've been excellent. And look, I'll leave that opinion to people on kind of how that's worked out. But we've got a lot of players at the minute who I haven't brought to the football club. I'm not blaming them, but at the same time, we're in transition, and we've got to be much better than we were out there today.
Mentioned your injury problems. Lenny Agbairi, that didn't help either. He looked as if he was struggling, and he took him off at the break.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a hamstring issue, just overstretched again, and it seems to be a common thread at the minute. Yeah, one of them things where he's obviously putting his body through it. Lenny's going to be a top player for us. He's still a young lad. He's still probably getting to know his body, but the position we're in at the minute with the number of players we've got out, we're asking players to probably go over and beyond what they're physically capable of. But look, that'll be a good learning curve for him out there, and it will be for one or two other players.
Is he likely to be around next week, or is it looking worse?
We'll see. I'm not gonna set things now that I don't know enough about. We'll get a scan on him and see how it is.
Your reasons for Rafferty on the bench?
He was just feeling a bit of an hamstring today, so we kind of left him out. We felt with Lenny, Raggett and Zach, we'd had a bit more defensive strength. That probably wasn't to be on. Certainly at first and third goal. So look, like I keep saying, look, that level of performance isn't anywhere near what I expect it to be. I'm well aware that there is going to be games like this because of where we are at the minute and what we've got available. So I was disappointed with his resilience. I think that every team that's played against a Rotherham team, when I were here before, I always knew they had a tough game, and I felt today we made it a little bit too easy second half, Cardiff.
And no Sean McWilliams today?
No, he felt his groin yesterday, so again, that is
my gosh, how many black cats have you run over?
I think I've run over a few, but look, it is what it is. Like we brought Kieran McGuckin on, Clark has come on at the end there. We've got young Kane on bench, and look, they probably shouldn't be in and around it. I'm not being disrespectful at this moment in time, but they are. So again, I know where we are, I know where we're at. I keep saying the same message, but we've got to get better. We've got to get better as a group. We need a little bit more squad depth. Hopefully we should have one or two back next week. Hopefully I'm close to another striker, which we need desperately, and then we move on.
So do you hope to have a new striker in by, because you haven't got a midweek game now, have you?
No, so I'm hopeful that we can hopefully get that done Monday. We tried as really hard to get it done for yesterday, but we just didn't do it in quick enough time. So fingers crossed, touch wood again. These things are never done until they're done, but we're quite hopeful.
Is everything basically agreed though, as far as you're concerned?
As far as I am aware, but like I've just said, until everything's done, it's never done.
And will it just be the one coming in this week, or are you hoping for more before?
Look,
I've got to ask you because that's what fans ask about.
Yeah, look,
isn't it?
I'm trying to make the team better all the time, but I'm well aware of where we are and what we're trying to do. And look, we might have to shuffle the pack a little bit. We might have to move players on. I've just spoken there about the turnover of players that the club's had in the last 2-3 years. So, look, we're going in a certain direction. Myself and the club know where that is. However, like today, as I keep reframing to, when you're missing 5-6 players of the quality of what we've got, look, Cardiff's a big football club. We're an unbelievable academy. They pump a lot into that, and you can see that today. We don't have that luxury, but we have to give our younger players an opportunity, and some of them have got one today.
One or two of your injured players might be back next week. Kieran Tete, maybe?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Again, we'll see. As I say, we're working as hard as we can medical-wise, and as you just said, we need a bit of luck along the way, but I'm still disappointed with our level of application.
And finally, just a thought for those fans going back tonight.
Yeah, huge credit to them. Look, it's a long way to come. I'm well aware that they spend a lot of money.